Hey guys, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. It's beer 30. Let's go take a walk, see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. I'm so glad you stopped by. Today is beer review 3300. What? 3300 beer reviews? Yep. It's been a long road, guys. I've been doing this for a long time now, and thankfully I didn't die when I had my heart attack. It was the Widowmaker, but I knew what was happening and got to the hospital in time got a stent put in, and the only downfall of that is my diet is really sucking now because I got to eat a lot of hard healthy stuff, and I've cut way back on what I've been eating, and I'm down close to 30 pounds now. So had to cut back on the beer intake, and especially the heavier beers like this. I mean, a lot of calories in these big time beers like this. This is Terrapin Beer Company, and they're out of Georgia, Athens, Georgia, I think. This is their Ales from the Wood, Richland Reserve, and the box has 2017 on it. This is an 11% English sweet / milk stout. So they've used lactose in the brewing of this, and it is aged in Richland rum barrels. So that should be pretty good. Also says it has olive Sinclair chocolate and Jittery Joe's, I guess, coffee in it. So hopefully, you know, I don't know how well the coffee is held up in this one, especially since it's been aged in rum barrels, and then I've had it for a while. This was sent to me by my brother Rico at the end of 2017. No, he sent it to me, yeah, end of December of 2017, guys. So I've had this a little over a year now, so I don't know if that's affected the coffee in it or not. We're about to find out. Let me set my glass up here. I got the box off to the side so y'all can see it. Terrapin makes some really tasty stuff, guys. I don't buy a whole lot from them anymore because there's not a lot of their stuff showing up here. They changed a distribution, who carries their beers, and I don't even know if they're coming to this part of Virginia or not. I haven't seen. They're definitely not in the Kroger stores or the little beer gas station type mom and pop places. I don't know if Martin has any over at the Barrel Chest or not. Like I said, this was sent to me by my brother Rico, and he writes on this 11% with 30 IBUs. He said he bought it and it was $14. 2017. This is the second in their Ales from the Wood series, made from vintage 2015 Tiramisu / Who Imperial Milk Stout. It has been masterfully aged in Richland rum barrels for over 22 months. That's almost 2 years in the barrel. So, and I've had it a year plus. So this one been brewed quite a few years ago. He says the two different beers listed, one and a double IPA. The double IPA was first of the series, brewed back in 2015, is now retired. So I'm hoping for good things for beer review 3300. That's why I pulled this particular one out of the fridge. So let's get it on. I'm anxious to get this in the glass and give it a taste. I really like barrel-aged beers. So let's see what this brings to the table. I think we've about covered everything. We'll jump over to Untapped. And they said a pair of Georgia's best liquid artisans have come together and combined two art forms, craft brewing and craft distilling. Richland Reserve, the second in their ales from the Wood series, and it goes in to tell you what I just read off of Rico's sheet there. So very impressive to be left in the barrels for that long. So it should have some big barrel notes, rum notes on this one. So not a cheap beer to buy, $14 for a bottle, but you expect that when you have a beer that's been aged that long, and they put it in this fancy box, which adds cost to the beer. So without any further ado, guys, let's get this thing opened up, get it into the glass. If I can quit beating the opener against the table, a little bit of hiss, a little bit of smoke, and we're going to pour this fairly aggressive, guys. We're going to go right down the center here on this. So let's pour a nice head. It is pitch black coming out of the bottle here, guys. So, almost got it all in there, and we'll try to get the rest of it in our frog off camera. About a finger of brown khaki colored head on that, guys. Over into the light, there is absolutely none. It is pitch black. Good looking beer. To the nose we go. Oh yeah, rich roasted malt, hints of rum, chocolate. Not getting a lot of cupping on the nose right now, so I don't know how much that is faded. Jittery Joe usually does some pretty impressive coffee, but that may come out as it warms up to room temperature, in which we always let happen. It smells very nice, guys. Really pleasant aroma. Maybe hints of some molasses and some dark fruit in there. Awesome smell. Really awesome. Wow. Well, let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Let me spin this around. I got it around where you can see it. Yeah. Let's dive in. Wow, the rum is there for sure. There's a little bit of coffee in there. I'm getting that. That's tasty. Almost has like a little bit of grape fruitiness to it. Wow, that is so good. Hard to put down. That is delicious. Well, let me see if I can get the rest of this in there. Seems like a fairly tasty beer for Beer Review 3300. Wow, been a long road, like I said, guys, but I'm so glad to still be doing them. And wow, that's delicious. Well, let me sip on this thing, let her taste it, and we'll come back and see where it ends up, guys. Hey guys, I'm back. Got a little left here. Been sipping on this in about an hour. Very tasty. The other half loved it. Had to pry it out of her hands. Guys, this beer is a very tasty beer. Probably going to go against the grade on this one compared to what everybody else is saying, but I do think it's a very well made beer. And like I said, I don't buy a lot of Terrapin beers anymore because I think they've been bought out by somebody else, maybe one of the big threes, I'm not sure, don't remember. Too many beers under the bridge now, but I think they were bought out a while back. And I don't buy a lot of their beers anymore. I still have some that are sent to me, like this one. This is their 2017 version of Milk Stout English sweet milk stout. A lot of information on the label, the hops, the malts, the barrels. I mean, a whole lot of information telling us it's a 2017 edition on the box and on the bottle, and the ABV is written on the bottle. A lot of information on the package and the bottle. And what I'm tasting here, it has cellared very well. I mean, maybe the coffee has faded a little bit. I'm not sure of that, especially since it was aged in the barrels for 22 months. I would think the coffee would have been faded plumb out by the time I got it out of the barrel. So I am getting a slight hint of a little bit of coffee, but not like you would get from a cup of Jittery Joe's coffee. I mean, that coffee is pretty prominent, pretty stout. Pretty impressive coffee from those guys there. I enjoyed this one. This is a very nice one, a very nice beer for a beer review 3300. Very enjoyable, guys. A nice final beer of the evening, if you will. A nice dessert beer, since it has lactose in it. It's a milk stout. Very nice. Not world class or outstanding, but pretty damn close. Pretty close. So, final chug. Oh, I'm not going to leave any left. That's a damn tasty beer, guys. I will have to say that. I'm going to give this a solid A, guys. 95, right down the middle of the A category. And like I said, I'm going against the grade on this one. Beer Advocate has it at 4.05. That is in their A- category. They say it's exceptional. I would agree. It is exceptional. It's very tasty. I really, really, really enjoy these barrel-aged versions of this style of beer. Stouts and Imperial Porters. Lovely. This is so lovely. And over to Untapped. Untapped has it at 3.96, which is B+. Nah, it's better than that. I don't understand a lot of times the grading from these guys. Sometimes they give it a little bit better than I think it should be, but it's just personal preference, opinion. What I like to drink and what I think it is, and I've had a few beers, 3,300. In the last some years in craft beers, and a lot more than that when I was drinking the macros. So this old boy's drank enough beer to float a battleship or 2 or 3 around. So I think I know a little bit about beer since I brew it and drank it for my entire life. But it's very subjective, guys. It all depends on where your palate is and what you'd like to drink. There's still people that drink Budweiser, Miller, and Coors. I mean, you know, and there are a lot of people that like IPAs and double IPAs, and a lot of people that don't. And a lot of people like dark beers, stouts and porters, and a lot of people that don't. So it all depends on what you like to drink and where your palate is, and how many of those beers you've had. And then if I'd had this beer 10 years ago, it would probably been a little too heavy, a little too thick, and a little too potent for me. But where my palate is now, I find it exceptionally tasty. So don't base your decision on whether to buy a beer or not buy a beer from what this guy says, or any guy says, or girl says, or anybody says. Pick one up and try it for yourself, and then you'll know. Especially if it's something like this, like a barrel-aged version of an Imperial Stout or whatever. If you're used to drinking that style of beer and that magnitude of beer, you're probably going to like it. And if you're not, you're probably not. You know, if you're going from Bud or Miller or Coors Light or any of those light beers to something like this, I got a feeling this is going to knock you in the dirt. So it all depends on what you're used to drinking and what you like to drink. So that's where I'm going to leave that, guys. I think it's an awesome beer. We've got the grades from Beer Advocate and Untapped. I'm a little bit better as far as grading what I am seeing, in my opinion, than some of these guys. They'll buy a beer and they're not used to drinking that style or that dark or whatever, and they don't give it the grade that it should. I just try to be as honest as I can, guys. I think this is a tasty beer, and even though if it's been bought out by AB InBev or somebody else, this still is a very tasty beer. I would probably buy this. The only thing that would deter me from that would be the price of $14 or more, depending on where you're buying it from. But you got to realize it's a barrel-aged beer that's been in the barrel for 22 months, almost 2 years. It's taking up space in the brewery, and so that makes it cost more. And then they have these special boxes printed up, and that one makes it cost a little bit more. Probably not a lot, a couple of cents, maybe a nickel or a dime, to print these boxes up and put the beer in there, which is probably better to me, in my opinion, than having somebody stand at the end of the bottle line and dip this bottle in a damn wax thing, which you got to fight to get off. I just much soon have a box where I can get it out and pop the cap off of it and then fight that wax and have to cut all that shit off of it, guys. But that's just my opinion. So, with that being said, if you've had the Richland Reserve from Terrapin Beer Company, this is their 2017 edition, 11% alcohol. Let me know what you think, guys. Till we meet again, thanks for stopping by for Beer Review 3300. I'll see you next time.